Hey, welcome back to the Comics Wellspring live drawing show, Spilled Ink, where we're spilling the ink and spilling the tea. And of course, I'm your host, Brandon Bloxdorf. So excited to be here tonight as we're on the road to IC3, and we have some very special guests that'll be at IC3 in March. And we actually have a little bonus guest that slid in tonight because he had some availability and some cool stuff to talk about. So, unfortunately, our amazing, lovely, beautiful co-host Max Flowers isn't here this week either. Dude is traveling, so he'll be back next week. But we have a fantastic cast. And starting off with Ian Cinco. Dude, I'm so excited to hang out with you. Hello.
Likewise, it's really good to finally be connecting with you, brother.
Yeah, dude. Me and Ian have been like just virtual buddies for a long time. I feel like over a year now. And I just like drool and admire your work every time you post stuff. So
We definitely
I'm
met
so
at
excited to see what you
IC3
do.
last
We
year.
did? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. It was a busy year. What do we do? When? All right, we'll talk more about this right now. Along with Ian, we have Dave Praetorius, the coolest last name I think I've come across in a while. Hello, Dave.
Hey, how's it going?
Super hyped to have you, dude. And you crazy. You're one of the guests that we haven't met before. We haven't like talked online. We just became, internet buddies. But just because you reached out and was like, "Hey, can I jump on the show at some point?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yes, slide in." And
Nice.
you sit in. So
Yeah. Thanks for being so accommodating and let me come in. It's super cool to be here.
and you guys may know him from past episodes, but we have the horrific and astonishing Jade Lowder joining us this evening.
Hello, thanks for having me back.
Always. Jade is, just if you guys haven't seen our interview and our other episodes with Jade, Jade's an awesome dude who does It's a Horror Show. And right now he's running a Kickstarter with me, actually. So super hyped to have him on the show. And check it out, Booby's hanging out with us. What's up, Booby? The cat just popped in. And so yeah, we'll talk about some of the stuff going on there. So gentlemen, we're drawing zombies. And already Dan Price says evening, y'all. Hello, Dan Price. Dan's our boy. So guys, we have some pencils lined up and going at it. Jade came up with the prompt tonight. What's your why zombies, Jade? Give us a answer behind
Yeah,
that.
I mean, so I guess partly inspired a little bit by the book that we are currently running on Kickstarter right now. It's not a strictly zombie book, but there's some definite zombie themes within inside the book. And the cover kind of features a kind of a zombie arm, a detached zombie arm. And it just felt appropriate. I don't know that I really have spent a whole lot of time drawing zombies. They're fun, and I think everybody has their own interpretation, and so I think that's what makes it kind of a fun, unique prompt, is that there's so many different ways to kind of interpret what a zombie is, what characteristics define a zombie, that I think it made a lot of sense.
Dude, yeah, actually, zombies. Like, I don't watch a whole lot of zombie horror movies. Zombies are the one horror thing that like scare the shit out of me, dude. Like, zombies are scary. they're terrifying. Like, if I ever had like an encounter a zombie apocalypse, I'm doomed, dude. Like, there's no way I'm gonna be that quiet. Like, my cat's gonna do something. Like, I'm screwed. There's not a possibility behind that. I'm so needy. Like, how am I going to survive without pepper? You know what I mean? Like, imagine a life where you can't eat. I can't. I need seasonings. I'll be the first to admit, like, I'm not going to do great in that situation, which is why it scares me so much. I just know it could happen, and the way things were looking at for a while in the world, we're like, could zombies be the next thing that hit us? Like,
yeah, I mean, that's fair. Fair enough.
I think it's always a question of what type of zombies are we dealing with. Are we dealing with
true
slow walkers who are like really dumb and can't move, or are we dealing with World War Z zombies? Then we're all fucked.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody's
dude,
that
yeah.
one.
No
Or
one's
Train to Busan zombies.
Yeah, Train to
Oh.
Busan is like World War Z. It's like
Yeah.
You're not winning that. I'm sorry.
You're done.
You might make it to like season 2, but like, I don't know. I think the whole world is doomed if zombies like that become real.
Yeah, man. I could probably go like a couple months if I'm lucky. I can't. I just can't, dude. I don't know. My survival rating skill with zombies not high. But if it's a slow zombie thing, maybe. Like if they're dumb and like just slow, I mean that might just be fun. Just gotta be a little cautious. As long as they don't evolve.
Yeah. Like Resident Evil.
Oh, dude, yeah. That's horrible. That's horrible. I would need to be in a refugee camp soon. But then like I would miss my animals, you know what I mean? Like I have 3 cats. Imagine rounding all 3 of them up and traveling. Pfft, done. Zombie food for sure.
I think you mentioned making noise. It's like, yeah, your dog is like not an asset. My dog would make so much noise. She'd be barking at all of them.
Exactly. Or just if you have food or something, and like you gotta make some sacrifices. And I don't know if I can make those sacrifices and be okay after that.
So wait, did I hear you guys have a zombie book that you're working on? Is that what I heard?
Oh,
kinda.
Yeah, tell us all about it, Jade. Go ahead and actually,
sure.
Real fast. R.D. Murphy art says, "Looking awesome," and Niobe Comics says, "Word up, yo! Thanks all for coming in and hanging." R.D. my boy, Niobe, dude, super hyped to see you.
Yeah. So the Kickstarter that we're currently running is kind of based off of my series called "It's a Horror Show," which is I don't know. Every issue that I do of it is like a standalone story of some different kind of aspect of horror, campy, really over the top tropes and stuff like that. And so we decided to do an anthology, and we invited a bunch of different creators to to create work for it, and they submitted some different stories. So it's an anthology of 20 plus creators. It's 18 stories. And so some of them have kind of a zombie element to them, and some of them don't. But the overall theme of the book is called "It's a Horror Show: The Found Footage Anthology." So it's got kind of a found footagey vibe to it. The way that we're kind of arranging all the stories, and we're gonna kind of have this through line story that it explains how all these kind of stories were housed under one book. And that kind of story is going to have a zombie theme for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm super hyped about it. Working with like Jade on this book has been like a year in the making, and so it's so exciting to like put it out there, and it just turned out way bigger and better than we thought. And you've seen some of the other like Apollo anthologies we've done, so this has just been the biggest, most like exciting one. You kind of learn so much after doing other books, and so the execution and just everything has been great. And we're almost funded. We launched on Tuesday, and right now we are at we need about $600.
Yeah, we're right there.
Yeah, so super hype. I got a story in there. Max has a story in there. So many people that have been on the show: Brian Arnold, Jeff DeMars, Nate Price. Actually did the story with Max in this one too, so that was cool. But yeah, Doug Knight, Kai Brown. Yeah, some good stuff. So super.
I always find about things too late. It seems like I didn't know about this at all.
Oh yeah, no. We gotta get you in a book, dude, for sure.
I'm down.
Tell us about your projects, Ian. That'd be super here to hear about. I think more people need to know about that.
You mind if I show them real quick?
Yeah, by all means.
I got this is a big year for me where I'm really gonna hunker down and make new products, new material. Because I'm definitely running on old stuff at this point. But
that's exciting.
This is my art book erratica. It looks like everything's gonna be backwards on the screen right now, but that's okay. My art book erratica.
No, you're good. It's
right.
Yeah,
oh, cool.
Yeah.
I put this out in 2017. It collects 4 years of my art, and it's pretty beefy. 556 pages. And the story I always tell is like I had been doing video work for almost a decade at this point, and this was my return to making art. So this is just like stuff I started throwing in sketchbooks, and it's really, the name is erratic because there's erotica in it, but it's mostly just erratic, like very random stuff I did in sketchbooks. And if you get this, you get a custom drawing on the inside front cover. That's what the deal is with this book. So for $50 these days, I'm giving out this book. It comes with random custom drawing on the inside and a free copy of my comic Neon Spring, the main cover. And then I have a bunch of variant covers. I got an Alexis Zarit variant cover. Running out of those, I got a signed copy of that. I got a Brendan Graham variant cover. Adam Fu is a street artist. He did a cover. Alfonso Martis, indie comic artist, did a cover. And then my variant cover. So basically, if you buy any variant covers, you get the main cover. Or if you buy my book Erratica, you get the main cover.
Oh,
and
nice.
That's my,
dude, that's sick.
That's my promo. Good evening. Thank you for letting me do that.
Yeah. No, of course, dude. I love it. It's super rad. Dave, why don't you tell us about your books? What you do?
Yeah, sure. If I don't mind a little promo as well.
Oh yeah.
My most recent book is Kaiju Panic. It's written by my son, who was 6 when he came up with it. And it's about a
That's cool.
superpowered T-Rex that fights giant rampaging monsters. So it's a wordless comic, all black and white. But he came up with the concept and kind of walked him through how he wanted everything to go down. So it gets wild. It's a lot of fun. So that came out just last year. It's a good time.
Nice.
And my most recent sketchbook that I'll have with me at IC3 this year as well.
Cool.
Which just it's a little zine style, covers a bunch of stuff that I did over the last year. I like to just kind of pull full on pages right out of my sketchbook and just scan them and throw them together for stuff like this. And then I'm working on something else right now. Not quite ready to show it off, but I'm hoping to have a preview of it ready for IC3. It's coming down to the wire. Just like a little short ash can or something. So.
Oh, nice, dude. Yeah, I love seeing what everyone's getting ready for the show. I feel like everyone's trying to do something special. We did a whole bunch of stuff with Apollo, so we're gonna have like a new comic there. We launched a Kickstarter that week. That's only a week long, and then we're like filming a documentary that week while we're doing IC3. So, and then I made my first little mini comic that I'm gonna be giving away for the series called Corpse Flower that I'm working on with my girlfriend. So I'm pretty hyped that I got to put this together and draw it and like make my first little like comic. So I'm pretty hyped.
That's amazing.
But yeah,
awesome.
Everyone's doing some cool stuff. I'm trying to get some prints for another book that I'm working on with Evan McGuire, the Stoner book that I'm really excited about. It's gonna be a foil cover and everything, so that's gonna be pretty hype as well. And we're working with Rick Lopez, who does Cosmic Cat, on a fun Stoner anthology that we'll be promoting that week.
Oh, that's awesome. I love Rick. He's great.
Yeah, Rick is awesome.
The best, dude. Rick is the best, dude. Dan Price says, Dave, sick work. Yeah.
Thank you, Dan.
Dude, so like you worked on that book with your son. That's so cool. That's the raddest thing in the universe. How did that like happen and fruition and come about?
We were on a road trip, and I think we had stopped for lunch or something, and I was scrolling my phone and looking at other people's comic work and stuff. And at that point, I'd been working coloring comics for a little bit, like maybe 7 or 8 months at that point. So I don't think he really understood what I was doing, but he was looking at the pictures with me too, and he was asking about making comics and how that gets done and stuff. Started walking him through it. We get back in the car and we're driving for a bit, and he just out of the blue yells, "I've got an idea for a comic." I was like, "All right, dude, what do you got?" And he just like, what you see in that book is what he threw at me that day. And when he said it, I was like, yeah, I have to draw this. This sounds insane and ridiculous, and yeah, I'm gonna draw that for you.
That's amazing.
I was, working on other stuff at the during that time, so it took me a while to get it done, but came out last year. Him and I did a tour around Southern Ontario, like I'm from Toronto, and hit like 5-6 spots over the fall. He came with me to every single one. He was signing books, talking to people. Yeah,
That is sick.
so he enjoyed that quite a bit, and we're working on the second one still, but it's taking a little bit longer this time.
That's great though. Like getting them so integrated with that stuff, like so early that's super exciting.
Yeah, it's great. And now he's just kind of making his own comics, so he doesn't really need me to draw them. He's drawing his own. So.
Dude, that's so cool. And then like you're getting integrated with such a good community. Like I feel like him growing up into that and seeing how it is, like that's super encouraging for him.
Yeah, it's at the point where we've been to enough shows and stuff that he knows other creators, and we'll just go over and just like start talking at the tables and stuff. Like,
we'll just
cool. Wander around and chat with people.
I feel like that's gonna do so much more than like him just trying to get validation and like acceptance from friends in school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And teachers and stuff like that. Like I feel like being really part of all this is really what's gonna like hone him in and be like, oh no, this is cool. I got to stick with this. Like. I feel like a lot of kids like stop these cool hobbies or, you know, doing certain things because like they get discouraged or they're just like in situations with friends or whatever and things happen and they could fall out of love with it a lot faster. But being encouraged so early, dude, it's exactly what you want.
Yeah, that was kind of the main goal, is just get him excited about making things and showing him like what it takes to make something like this. Like comics aren't easy to make. They take a long time, a lot of effort, a lot of thought. And letting him like see that whole process from start to finish and be a part of it, make decisions and stuff was cool for him.
Nice. I love that, dude. And Jade, you're working on a new It's a Horror show right now alongside this anthology too, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of slow going still because I'm juggling a bunch of different projects all at the same time. So who knows exactly when it will come out and when it will be done and all that kind of good stuff. But it's just a fun kind of really simple like kind of alien invasion, abduction story that's pulled out of my love of like the 50s kind of sci-fi alien invasion movies that are just they're so much fun, but they're really bad. and so I just kind of had an idea about that. So that's kind of what I've been working on when I have a little bit of spare time.
That's so sick, and it's back to like your werewolf like gang and everything, and that Fugazi like homage you did was always one of my favorites. Like.
Minor threat, bud. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, minor threat. Oh my gosh. Yep. Call me out. There you go. My bad. I had Fugazi on the mind. They're all from here, so. So what? Jade, we'll go with you first. But like, what's your favorite like interpretation of a zombie? Like what? Like movie, comic book, or like how do you interpret it yourself to make it as cool as you want?
So I mean, I think there's some really good zombie movies and video games and other kind of content out there that definitely jump to mind when I think of zombie. So I mean, I think always first for me is like George A. Romero's like Night of the Living Dead and that kind of stuff. But I would say my favorite is Return of the Living Dead. It's actually become my favorite horror movie of all time because it's so cheesy.
Is that where they end up in the mall?
No, that's Dawn of the Dead. Return of the Living Dead is it's not George A. Romero at all. It is totally different filmmakers. They had a really low budget. It's kind of goofing off of George Romero, and they, the zombies, are like brains and going for brains and stuff like that.
You mean like they speak? They say brain? They say
Yeah, they talk. Yeah.
I know I've seen it. I just can't think of what it is right now.
It's punks in a graveyard, right? That's where.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
Punks in the graveyard and a
That one's good.
morgue. Yeah.
It's not your typical zombie movie for sure.
It's really funny, over the top, and yeah. So that's my favorite.
I love that so much. That's a great movie. It's one of my favorite zombie movies for sure, hands down. Nice. What about you, Dave? What's your favorite zombie thing that you gotta?
Oh, I mean, I do like Return of the Living Dead too. Shaun of the Dead was a big one for me.
Totally.
I
It's great.
love
that as well.
the horror aspects combined with the comedy. I'm a big horror comedy guy. Like Evil Dead, Army of Darkness, Slither, Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, Slither.
You know, those movies where you can break that tension with a laugh or two, so good. And they really did the zombies well in Shaun of the Dead too. You know, there was some really great makeup in there. There was some creative ideas, and like Edgar Wright, come on, like he's such a great filmmaker. You can tell he planned every little detail of that movie from start to finish, where you have opening shots of people like putting away shopping carts, and by the end of the movie, those are zombies doing the same job, kind of thing. It's the same shot over again. It's brilliant. It's a really great movie.
Eric Orwitz said, "Send more paramedics."
Send more paramedics. That's such a good moment when they start using the walkie-talkies. I like all the punk kids in Return of the Living Dead, and it's like, you think this is a fucking costume?
Yeah, yeah, right. That's what made that movie so great. I was just like, I can't believe we're doing, like, it just all works so well, and they're like gated inside of it. They can't escape. Like, it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. What about you, Ed?
I mean, I second what everybody else says. I love all of it. I love the really scary ones. I love the comedy ones. I really do enjoy thinking about, like, obviously beyond the horror, like, how silly could it all be? Like, if they're mindless, we could really just trap them all in like a parking lot and mess with them in there and figure out ways to use them for other things. Maybe, I don't know. Set them on like a giant treadmill, but you know, going after meat. But I do have like I feel like a zombie switch, because when I was younger, I was obsessed, like, you know, Night of the Living Dead, George Romero, and all that. I got super into it, and I had no problem with it, you know. But the older I get, I find I'm getting like more and more sensitive to all kinds of things for all kinds of reasons. And I remember watching Walking Dead for the first time. My dog was dying, and my ex would put on Walking Dead, and I was like, this is so inappropriate. This is like the last thing I want to watch right now. And that was the first time in my life where I was like, I don't want to watch zombies. That had never happened before. I never would have been that guy. So I went through like a phase where I couldn't. I had like trauma in response to Walking Dead, but I eventually watched all of it. It's excellent. I love it. It's so good.
Is it? I gotta watch. I stopped at season 2. I never went back to it.
I think it's great. I stopped after Negan. I think a lot of people stopped after Negan did. No spoilers. He kills some main characters, but
yeah, I've read the comics. The comics are great. I think. Yeah. So,
yeah, I want to read them. I haven't. I'm embarrassed to admit I haven't read them, and I love all the covers and everything.
I read them during COVID. Actually, I just binged them all, and I was like, "This is pretty solid." Like,
yeah, I mean, I think when go into like drawing zombies and that kind of stuff, I'm definitely looking at the Walking Dead zombies to kind of like figure out, like, the kind of characteristics that need to be there, because otherwise you're just drawing a person who's kind of got their arms, you know, stretched out, or blood on their face or something like that. And so I think The Walking Dead really like simplified it in a way that's just like, oh, visually that makes a lot of sense.
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. I was looking at the covers for this. They're really inspiring and fun. They're fun cartoon graphics, but also plays on what you can do with zombies.
My favorite zombie interpretation, and I like really used it for this too, just to get like an idea, like, was the Bernie Wrightson dude. Bernie Wrightson zombies are like my favorite zombie.
Nice.
Bernie Wrightson, he he did like a 6-issue series, like Tales of the Macabre or something like that. and it was like so creepy and eerie and classic horror comics. I just like that's what I really really love. But only like Bernie's like one of those like few artists in that era where I could sit down and read it too and enjoy the art. There's not a lot of. I forgot who wrote that series with him. I can look it up real fast. But it's a good one. It's definitely a good one. I feel like Wrightson did so well because of like Swamp Thing and all that type of texture he does.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is anybody still keeping up with Walking Dead here in terms of like what is it? What there's like the spin-off series too. There's other
Dude, there's so many now. I didn't realize there's like the Rick one. There's the
Fear of the Walking Dead. There's there's a lot.
And then Daryl has one with Homegirl.
Oh yeah, you're totally right. I forgot that Daryl had a spinoff too.
It's so crazy. I haven't seen any of them.
Eric said, "Y'all, have you seen? Have you seen one cut of the Dead? It's a fucking blast.
Yes,
one cut. Oh, I haven't.
I've not heard of that. What is that?
Yeah.
Dang. Is it Romero? I think it might be Romero. Because he did a couple like after Land of the Dead. It might not be. No, it's not. It's definitely not. Yeah, I remember this one, but I might be getting it confused with a like Diary of the Dead, which is definitely a Romero.
Oh, the Bernie Wrightson book I was talking about was Master of the Macabre. Such a good book. It's like an anthology too, I think.
Do you have like a little girl zombie in your drawing, Brandon?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's like she's holding the hand of some other zombie that's only halfway there. I wish my camera.
Nice. I like the halfway zombie a lot.
Nice. Yeah, I have like her ankle kind of twisted. She's holding a bear, and then I have this big zombie in the background.
I'm drawing myself being eaten alive by zombies.
God, it would be so horrible to be alive, being eaten alive by anything, but especially humans.
Oh, dude, yeah.
I would feel better if a bear was eating me, I think. Than if, it's like there's something way less horrific and worse about a bear, and almost like dignified. But like humans,
like also like a human teeth.
Yeah,
human teeth biting you, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
we would take forever, and the zombies just like chew, and they never really show like the person dying. I bet you in real life you would just like be laying there for hours, maybe days, dying slowly while they eat you slowly.
Oh god, yeah. And then waiting to transform, like, oh, that's misery, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I feel like that blood trauma, you'd be done.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eric said One Cut of the Dead is a Japanese film about filmmaker attempting to make a zombie film while real zombies attack. That sounds right up my alley, but now that you talk out the plot, I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, that sounds cool. Tell though. What's cool about zombies too is you can be kind of messy with their like aesthetics, and you can be kind of sloppy and rigid. Like, kind of hype for that. Make it look dirty.
Yeah.
You can also be really lenient with the proportions too.
Yeah.
Stuff is falling apart, falling off.
Try to give her like an awkward arm, like elbow popping out a little bit. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I can imagine zombies, dude. I've Terrifying. Food, having to figure that out. I eat so much. Like I'm just somebody who eats a lot. Like I'm always hungry. I'm just always hungry.
Yeah, that's
And
always
I'm
a big
vegan,
thing in
dude.
zombie
That's
things.
gonna be
Everybody's
rough.
always starving,
Yeah,
desperate.
I'd be so
Yeah.
moody.
Food, and then basic stuff like antibiotics.
Oh yeah.
Get a cut, you're done.
The classic provisions run is the worst fucking thing ever.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to go into town. You finally figure out how to like board up and be safe, and then you got to go back out again.
So what supplies are you guys using tonight for the drawing?
Currently, just pencil still. Using my handy dandy non-photo blue pencil. I don't know how to say the brand. It's a Swiss-made pencil. It's Karen d'Ache, I guess.
That's cool.
It's
Karen
it's really nice. A lot of what was that?
I think it's Karen Dash. If that's what you're, I think probably.
That's probably the one.
Yeah.
But a lot of non-photo blue pencils, the kind of graphite lead of it is really fragile, and so they'll break off inside the pencil all the time. But this brand does not, and it makes it really, really nice because I'm fairly heavy-handed with my pencils, and I press down, give a lot of force, and so it's a nice one.
Ooh, nice. I have a blue line pencil. I haven't used it before. But I just got a pencil sharpener, so I'm hyped. I like that's why I switched to mechanical pencil. The pencil sharpener I had would just destroy my pencil more than sharpen it. And so I just got a mechanical, and it's just been the greatest thing. Do they make like mechanical pencil blue line lead?
They do. Most of the good lead for that you have to order from like Japanese companies and stuff like that. There's not a lot of really good American companies that will that make it, unfortunately.
Are there tariffs on Japan?
I don't. Not yet, right?
There will be.
Right, so I guess get them while you can. Okay, cool. That's good to know. I want to look into that. I want to try using blue line. I mean, a lot of scanners pick up blue line now, which is also why I didn't make the full shift. But it's interesting.
It's really easy to delete it if you have like photo editing software. Like I use Photoshop, and so I'm able to delete it really, really easily.
You gotta like show me how to do that.
Yeah,
because I don't know how to do that. I have no idea how to do that. Actually, I'm not part of. I don't know how the techie part of art yet.
Yeah, I mean everything that I do that way, I've learned out of pure necessity, not out of enjoyment.
Yeah, exactly.
Like this is the way that I have to be able to do this, so I will learn how to do it.
It was like what I was telling you about the mini comic when I had to rearrange it, and then you're like, just like about 5 minutes of Photoshop skills would have saved you about an hour of time. And I was like, it's like true, but you got it done. Like, that's all that matters.
Reprinting stuff, using a light box. I'm like, you could just throw it into Photoshop and click one button, and it would be done.
It was like cutting and pasting and like realigning and so funny. Super funny. What about you, Dave? What tools are you using today?
I have this Pentel brush pen. This is like pretty much the only thing I ink with these days.
Nice. I love
the variation in line, and it's so easy to get with it. Go thick to thin in one straight line full. Yeah, super versatile. And the ink, I use the permanent ink, like the one that these come with is usually like a water-based one that takes forever to dry, and if I'm going to use like watercolor or ink wash on top of it, it just kind of bleeds and stuff. But
Oh yeah.
getting it switched up for this gray tube one, this permanent, is really key, and it dries super black. It's so black.
Oh,
So meta.
cool.
So it
I gotta
really
look
looks
into
nice
that.
afterwards. Yeah. They're pretty cheap. Like I get them on Amazon and they're about $10 Canadian. So what, like
Okay.
$6 for you guys probably?
Yeah. Yeah, that probably adds up. Yeah, that's super cool. I gotta check that out for sure. I have one of those and I just like wore out the brush basically. And I have one downstairs. I just haven't opened it yet. I use like mostly this Pentel, just like the standard black cat brush one. You know what I mean?
Like the pocket brush?
Yeah, the pocket brush. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my gateway to brush pens. And then I found this thing. I forget who was saying that they had used one. It might have been like Jay Stevens or Mike Allred or something. And I was like, that looks good. I could try that one out. And I haven't looked back ever since. I've been using this thing for 3 years now. I have to get a new one maybe every 6 to 9 months because the brush will start to split after a while. But then I have all these different versions of it now that are great for texture and shit because they're all frayed.
Yeah, I was gonna say sometimes that stuff you could use it in your favor too. I've come to discover, which is pretty rad.
100%. I never throw out a brush. It's always just repurposed. You know?
Yeah.
Throw some tape on it to mark it, write something on it, whatever characteristic it has, and then
Yeah, I was gonna say the tape technique.
yeah, like this is not your good brush. Don't pick up this one.
Yeah. Yeah. Now it's a textured brush. Now you're just adding to arsenal. You know, that's where style comes into play. You know.
Yeah, it's super handy.
It's dope. What about you, Ian?
I've been like heavily using this Kuretake number 9 brush pen for years now.
Oh, sick.
It's like all the brush pens. It has that beautiful, you can go super thin to super thick, but I find that the thin is the thinnest out of all of them and it maintains that for longer. But what I haven't been able to find is a water resistant one. So I also do always have a nice Pentel one on hand just in case I don't want to do a wash. But I also do a lot of washes. So I also have this is a Kuretake water refillable water brush.
Cool.
And I'll be using that in a few minutes probably. And that's like
nice. Yeah.
These are really my tools that I take everywhere. I don't really take much more than this. I take a little bottle of white paint, and no matter where I am, I can work with these things. I do want to try like getting back to other materials this year, but that's been my primary arsenal for I feel like 5 years now.
Oh, sick. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, dude, Pentel stuff. I love Kuretake. Those have been a lot of fun. One of mine is a Kuretake. Can't find it right now. But I use Tombow too. The Tombow pins are really dope. But they're disposable, so they kind of start to fray after a bit.
The Tombows.
Yeah, have you ever seen these? These two are Tombows.
Oh yeah. Yeah, those are good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love those ones.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. Nice fine liner.
I've been using that particular one to letter recently, and it's been
nice.
Fun for that because what I'm working on right now, I want there to be I want it to look kind of brushy the way that I'm lettering it, but I don't actually want to use like a brush with bristles in it kind of thing. I don't trust I'm like lettering's hard enough as it is. I don't make it harder on myself. But the Tombow's been a nice medium, you know.
It's interesting to use a brush for lettering. I've always used a pen and ink set.
Oh, like nibs. Wow. Okay.
That's super dope. I have this one Kuretake that I haven't used it today, but it's just like it's a little thicker than a fine line. So I use it for like some outlines mostly, but I use this one because it's a brush, the dual one, but the fine liner on it is my favorite fine liner. So I use it primarily for the fine liner.
That's one that I write. I wouldn't say letter, but when I'm writing, I write with that because I really like it's got a nice little calligraphic brushy stroke and it's easier to control than most.
Mm-hmm. I just don't think it's dark enough. That's my only.
Yeah.
That's looking great, Ian.
All right. I'm gonna do a little bit of that brush, the water brush now. I get
Speedy.
I really love when the brushes are fresh. It drives me insane when they're not. And I feel like I'm pretty controlled. Like I've seen people destroy brushes in one drawing, brush pens in one drawing. But even me being controlled, like they just don't last long. And I find it very frustrating. I'm always wishing they lasted a little longer.
Total vibes. John Burkett says, looking great, guys. Love the tool talk. Dude, I have...
What up, John?
I finished coloring that Feral Star thing. I need to send it to you.
You're coloring Feral Star? You're coloring something Feral Star?
Yeah, we did a Spilled Ink episode, and I drew a Feral Star, like the cat character.
Nice.
And like I colored it with some colored pencils and everything. Came out pretty cool. I had like a little spirally background.
John and I just did a flip through of Feral Star, and we were definitely talking about how, you know, the cat characters are kind of set up as they're doing villainous work, but you end up feeling really bad for them. They're so destroyed in that comic.
Dude, it's so gorgeous. It's such a good looking book. Yeah. It gives me such those. I mean, like he was saying, you know, 2000 AD vibes and like heavy metal and stuff. And I've been reading these Elric books that PK Russell drew, and it just reminded me a lot of that stuff. Super rad.
Yeah, I was following John on Feral Star, I think, when he first started doing it on Substack. I have the little ash can preview of it that I ordered from him.
Oh, cool.
I'm excited to hit up Cosmic Lion Island at IC3 and get that issue 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
It's awesome.
Yeah, they're cool guys. I got to hang out with them with the comics Cosmic Lion guys at Rose City this last year.
Oh, nice.
Who was there? It was Adam. I know there was obviously Eli, but Adam Lemna was there, right?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Adam's the shit. I love Adam. Such a good dude.
He's great. I met him at SPX a couple years ago.
Was Siraji there?
You know, I don't remember. I don't think so, but I mean, it's totally possible. I end up spending most of my time, with Adam and Eli.
Siraji's got a Nightwing gig, which is dope. He's kind of out of the whole crew. The first, not the first. I think cool. Kevin Catalan has a Godzilla thing. But yeah, people are starting to get little pop off things, you know.
That's awesome.
To elevate.
Yeah, the Cosmic Lion crew, they're good people. So I always bring them on the show. They're just awesome dudes. Great to hang out with. Eli is such a great dude. He's helped me a lot of advice-wise for a publisher, and doing what I do and giving me some assurance on that. He's also, streamlining this huge thing. There was a Bleeding Cool article about it too. Trying to help out indie comics and get us some distribution and figure out some stuff. So
calling it spam.
Spam, that's right.
Yeah.
And so really gotta doing some good stuff. Eli's awesome. It's funny, like I started talking to Eli last year because of, I don't know if it was before or after IC3, maybe a little before. We had gotten each other's numbers, and all we did for like 6 months was send each other cat pictures.
Yeah.
Until we finally had a question or something.
I didn't know Eli was a cat guy. Well, I guess I know he has cats. I didn't realize you guys. That's funny.
That's super funny. It's super cute.
Spam him some cats. You wanted spam, so you got spam.
Yeah, great people. Rick Lopez, Roe, this whole squad is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Really respect them. But and that's that's what's cool about like doing Apollo is that I observe like LKC and Cosmic Lion, and I see what moves they do and how they operate, and I use that for a lot of my core, So I think that's why we found some success is that kind of just see what these guys are doing it right. So I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm trying to see what I could learn from it or do better or change or do it my way, but still do the stuff they did. I think I finished most of my little girl. I'm gonna move to this guy.
Brendan, are you doing anything to help organize IC3 this year? I felt like I don't really know what anybody's roles were, but I felt like you were kind of like an organizer last
year. Since CWS sponsors it, we prep a whole lot of things for it, like all the badges and things like that, and I'm doing all this stuff like promote it leading into it. So like in ways like I promote the hell out of IC3. And like Apollo, it's weird because I'm going to be doing CWS and Apollo this year. So I'm going to be running around like crazy, dude. We're filming a documentary, so we're going to be kind of taking care of that at the same time.
Wow.
And we have all these new promotions and books, and like Apollo has a table, and then we have like, luckily enough, we had like 7 of our creators sign up as well. So we have probably just as much Cosmic Lion as we do Apollo people at IC3. So we have like a little Apollo City section probably. So yeah, I mean, promotion wise, I work with Matt on some stuff, but that's about it.
Nice.
Yeah, just heavily involved, you know what I mean? And then I'm getting more involved with CAF and seeing what I could do with them. Because what they're doing with that app and getting people to like get chances to sell their art and be more integrated into this, collector community is a pretty cool thing. So,
that's amazing, man.
Is going to make they're going to make some dents. So I'm seeing what I could do to help them out too, and how CWS can play into all that type of stuff.
There's so many things motivating, I'm sure all of us, but motivating to get me moving. And God, just the idea of being able to sell original art, like to get to a point where you can sell original art, make a better living, and make your products and your comics. It's like the dream is very attainable. It doesn't feel like a pipe dream at all.
Yeah, I feel you on that. It's interesting. Yeah, I'm seeing, it's sometimes it's just such a slow burn, there's so many moving parts, so many intricate things, and they start to shift your attention from what you're already doing and trying to make time or figuring out, okay, well, what do we got to cut so we can invest more time into this type of stuff? So, I mean, that's a big reason, February, we're doing like a formal email announcement, but we're stopping that spotlight show, unfortunately. It's really cool and it's a lot of fun. I love talking to people, but we're cutting that whole show basically because we're doing a lot of stuff in the background, and just bandwidth and having to edit and schedule appointments. It's just a lot for. Yeah,
I wish I got in before it was over. I love that.
I know, it's just so much. Well, we're gonna try to figure out what we're gonna do, and I think we're gonna be changing what we do on YouTube a bit more as well. So there's gonna be a lot of cool updates. It's just balance, figuring out how to like blend that into the workday as well.
I'd be the last one to fault you for focusing on what you really need to focus on in life.
Yeah, and CWS is just trying to make more initiatives for creators. We have some stuff in the background that could give a lot of creators like some like steady gig work. You know what I mean? So we kind of listen to everything that people say in these interviews, and then we're like, okay, we're seeing this issue pop up this many times. Like people are talking about this a lot. So how do we help solve that? So it's either us try to help solve those issues or continue hearing about them. So we want to try to help solve them.
Nice.
if that makes sense, without revealing too much. I know it's like very vague on how I'm phrasing it, but
No, I mean, it's amazing. You guys, you're obviously getting an insight because you're talking to everybody directly and getting their opinions or hearing what they think. So that's awesome.
yeah, that's why we try to do so much with IC3 and promote it, because it's what people want and need and what indie creators want and need. We want to make sure that's spearheaded as much as possible to give everyone an opportunity.
Yeah.
Because cons are rough, dude. Like, cons are just always so rough. In
When
like
you
good
say
ways
that-
and bad ways.
Yeah. What do you mean when you say they're rough in terms of just,
I mean,
on your feet all day, but like
just like how placement is and getting attention of like, you know,
Yeah.
customers and like, you know, where we're segregated versus other creators and like, you know, vendors and stuff. Like, it's hard
Yeah.
to like really get out there as a comic creator at a Comic-Con, you know?
I
and really get some
actually
attention.
sell more products and make more money and even sell more comics when I'm vending at non-Comic Cons than I do at Comic Cons.
Yep. That's what we're hearing the most too, you know? And that's what I encourage creators to do. Like, you know, find different types of festivals and things that cater to your stuff. Like, we have a stoner book. We're trying to put it into like, you know, head shops and, you know, dispensaries and such, you know, and going to those festivals and being like, well, we're a comic. Like, if you're going to get stashed, get a comic at the same time. Like, it just makes sense, you know, and go back to the roots a little bit. And so like just thinking within your box, but outside the box at the same time, I think more people would have success. Find your niche and like capitalize on it, basically, you know?
Kevin Smith just had his con. It was definitely a stoner con. What was that called?
Oh yeah. Chronic Con. Yeah.
Did you get out to that one or was
No, that was we don't have too much ready yet. This whole year is gonna have a bunch of really cool fun releases. Like Outer Space #3 is gonna come out. We have another book, Too High to Die, a stoner anthology. That's actually maybe 2 stoner anthologies. I think we're gonna launch one, and we have one that's basically complete that we're gonna launch. And then The High Adventures of Weed Wizard and Bong Boy are coming out. So
That's awesome.
I love people's response to that. I know that's going to be a great book because every time I say the title, I hear a chuckle, and that just warms my
Bong
heart.
Boy.
Like,
Bong Boy sounds.
yeah, he's literally a bong, a little bong that's
Heat
skateboards.
shaped anthropomorphized bong.
Yeah,
That's
you'll
awesome.
see the. I'll send you a picture of the print we're gonna have at IC3. But it's this cool foil special edition print we're getting made just for that show. It's
Awesome.
so cool. I love it. But yeah, so I mean, because of, you know, you do a stoner book and so you're like, all right, where do stoners go? Where would a stoner get a comic? Like, how can I make this accessible to them if they're not going to shops or to comic book conventions?
Yeah,
So-
dispensaries are big. A lot of dispensaries. I find a lot of dispensaries want to do events too.
Yeah, and it's crazy, especially here on the East Coast. I'm finding out because you're in New York,
Yes.
right? Ian? Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you based out of, Dave?
I'm Toronto.
Toronto. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Canadian.
Nice.
That explains your politeness, like, and me of Doug Knight. You know, that's cool. We have our buddy Doug Knight. That's from Canada.
Oh, I know
too.
Doug. Yeah, I know Doug.
Oh, you know Doug? Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
Somehow all of us Canadians know each other, and we're all mostly located in the greater Toronto area. So that kind of
Amazing.
helps. But yeah.
Yeah, he's in the anthology we're
Is.
you know, kickstarting right now. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's a good dude. I love Doug. I got to con with him a whole lot in 2024, and it was just such a good time hanging out with him. We really got to team up, and that's where, you know, working with Doug, I really found ways to find success at a table, and, you know, making bundles and teaming up and like cross promoting and selling and bundles for everyone at your table, like, so, you know, everyone sells a book at once. And we did a lot of cool stuff to make sure we both had some success, and it was great. He's a really wonderful guy. I'll never tell him that to his face, but
course not, no.
he's the best, you know. But that's super rad. And then Jade's in Montana.
I am.
Montana. Which part of Montana are you? It's such a
Southwest.
odd southwest. Okay. All right. Gives me a better idea.
I'm about like an hour away from Yellowstone.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
That's amazing. I have not been to Yellowstone yet.
It's pretty great.
Done some nice road trips, but never got in there. And I definitely want to.
Every field trip. When I was a kid.
That's so funny.
What's it known for? It's the
Dude,
super volcano, right?
Yeah, the caldera.
The sleeping giant.
I always start off drawing like really good and comfortable, and then my cat like passes out on me weird, and I'm just like trying to work around my cat and draw. And it just then my body starts aching.
What's your cat's name?
I have 3 cats. I have the one that's passed out on me right now. His name is Booby or Belvedere. He always goes for the boob, so we call him Booby. And then we have the chunky one, Sebastian, who's just ridiculous. He's just a tabby, but he's super chunky and cute. And then there's my cat, the demon, T'Challa. T'Challa's yeah, he's the youngest one, dude, and like he picks on Booby all the time, and Booby like won't fight back, and I don't get why, because he could kick his ass and he won't. But T'Challa's something else.
I think sometimes
That cat is so
a true
devious.
warrior knows not to engage with a lesser warrior.
Right? Yeah.
Just-
Honestly.
I didn't know you had 3 cats, Brandon. I also had 3 cats.
Oh, really? Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
yeah. Dude, it's wild. This is why I don't want kids, because I just, if I can't handle these 3, I don't know if I could do that.
I would say kids listen a little bit better than cats do. Just from my own experience.
You're like, actually not nearly as stressful.
Oh no, definitely
I bet,
stressful. Just different, yeah.
I love that though. I always do that too. Whenever I'm like around I'm one of the only out of my friend group. I'm one of the few ones that don't have kids. And so whenever my friends start bringing up their kids and like they have that talk, and I'm like, yeah, man, and T'Challa, dude, it's just crazy. Like 6:30 in the morning, just wakes you up, insane, just scratching stuff. And they're just like, we hate you.
Cats are crazy in the morning. That's like a fact. So if any parents are giving you guff about it, it's like they either a lot of parents know. A lot of parents have cats too.
You're like, yo, but for reals, like.
God, I haven't had cats in a few years, and I'm grateful. I used to have to get so crafty with ways of keeping them out of the bed or out of the bedroom, especially when they were getting older. And
Oh, really?
just like my whole life was designed around avoiding animal nightmares, animal messes, and animals waking me up at night. It was like my whole apartment was designed just to prevent that.
Dude, yeah, honestly. Yeah, I have stuff in strategic places to be like, well, at least I know it's safe here. But like my art supplies, my coffee, dude, they always find a way. Always.
Cats will find a way.
Yeah, the crafty dudes, like, especially T'Challa, man. He just like knows, like, there's no excuse. Like, he knows what he's doing. He's an asshole. Like, he knows it, and I've seen him be sweet, and I know he knows he's being sweet. And I've seen him be a total jerk, and I'm like, you know exactly what you're doing. Like, you're instigating right now, dude. You just have attitude. And honestly, it's funny because my dog was the most peaceful guy ever. He would just be like, I don't care for other animals, just don't hang out with the humans. Like, that's it. Like, dogs are way more chill. Ian, are you working on like a series of any sort?
Yeah, my comic Neon Spring.
Okay, just Neon Spring. All right.
I only have issue 0 out, and it came out a long time ago. And I know not better, but I know just like all comic creators, we got to be regular with our stuff. So rather than like try to jump in and just start doing it regularly, I've chosen to step back and write the story a lot. I've done a lot of writing and planning, and this is the year issue 1 will be done. And then I'm not really trying to be super ambitious this year. I really want to be realistic and just get issue 1 done. And then next year, I really want to figure out how to make them come out on some kind of a regular schedule with some kind of, some consistency, whether it's 2, 3, 4 issues a year, whatever I'm capable of doing. I want to get to that in 2026.
Okay, nice. Oh yeah.
Yeah, once you figure out the formula, could you let me know? Because I'm
Yeah, it's definitely, it's always a combination of lots of things. But I think one of the biggest problems I've had is that I run around in New York and do too many fun like New York events, and
you do some cool stuff.
It's like,
yeah, you're always doing cool stuff.
It's so fun, but it's diminishing returns, and it's not really going to lead to the career I want. So I'm never going to quit. It's all my homies and friends and everything, but this year's going to be more about making comics than running around New York.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Dude, I get it though. Apollo's done a whole lot, and then I feel like I haven't done a whole lot because, like, dude, Teenage Babylon #1 is still not done. It's almost there. Like, the script is done. Like, the pencils, inks are done. It's like just getting touched up right now, and I've been promoting this book since before the Punk anthology. And that was my first book, and so sometimes it just takes a while, but when it's worth the wait, it's worth the wait. I feel, and I think like Teenage Babylon's gonna blow everyone away once it comes out. So I'm pretty hyped about it. But it just it happens. I think as long as you do it, that's what matters the most. Just eventually getting it done.
Do it when you can. But yeah, you do a lot. I noticed you do a lot, and it's a tough spot to be in. I know that I've been there many times where I'm saying yes to too many things, maybe, or I do my show Everything in the Kitchen Cinco, but these days it's just going live on Instagram, very low maintenance. Just I post it when it's done, and I'm done. But I used to do like a much more heavily produced show, and that was like that took over. I would spend at least 2 days a week working on that, and I had to stop. I just had to stop. I couldn't. It was like I wasn't getting my art done, or everything was either work or that, and I wasn't making a comic. So.
It's kind of why I had to like also stop spotlights, because like the bandwidth to like whenever I get 5-6 people in a day, and even though it's you hang out for 30 minutes or whatever, but it's a lot to process, and by the end of the day my brain's kind of fried. So it's harder to do my stuff at night too.
Yeah, I'm not great at bouncing back after doing a talk or a live or whatever, getting right back into the zone.
Yeah,
unless I really have to, unless it's like absolute deadline time.
But also, I've been drawing a lot more than I have been writing, so I feel like I need to find a balance between my writing and trying to draw. Like, I'm learning a whole lot though, and I feel like I'm like making progress with my art, and so like I don't want to stop, but then I'm like, man, I have a lot of scripts I got to get done. Like, I have artists waiting on me right now.
That's awesome.
There's a balance, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that what you primarily do, Brandon? Is writing?
Yeah. I've only technically, I feel like, been drawing for almost a year now.
Oh wow!
Like I really took it like seriously like last May. You know what I mean? Like I would do like a doodle here and there.
Dude, way to jump in.
Yeah, that's why we started the show. Was like, well, if I got to draw and watch people draw with me every week, it kind of just made sense, because then like that would probably encourage other people to draw. Is if you see Max Flowers and Jade and Ian and Dave, and then you see my drawing, and I'm like, okay, there's different levels and spectrums of styles and skill and everything. And like I'm not the best, but I'm like learning a lot every week, But if I'm not afraid to like learn on air and try live, like you shouldn't be afraid to start and do it on your own in your room right now. Like no one's watching.
That's great, man.
Also just got me to sit down and draw once a week for 2 hours straight.
I really love when people who haven't typically thought of themselves as artists, but they love art, when they finally, whatever it is, they hack their life and they start doing it. I really love those stories. I love when that happens.
I mean, that's just the thing with everything too, is just like, how are you going to start doing it? And once you start doing it, it's great. You just got to get up and find time. It's the same thing with, the gym and just any sort of craft or just anything you're trying to like get better at. You just have to just focus on that for a bit. It's hard. It's so hard because there's so many times for anything you just don't want to do it, but you're like, well, once you get started, you're like, oh, I love this. I forget. I think discipline is just like one of the weirdest and things to conquer, I guess, especially as you get older.
Oh, yeah. Everything's fighting for your time, your attention, and it's all about, setting aside that time and just committing to it.
My hat's off to you as a father. That's incredible to me when fathers or parents in general are able to do it.
Thanks. I mean,
that's a lot, dude.
It's not easy. I'm usually here in my studio like 3 nights a week probably, and it's like after the kids go to bed and we're all cleaned up and stuff, then I'll sneak out, come here, stay till like 11:30, 12 o'clock, go home, go to bed, wake up, do it all again the next day.
Nice.
Okay, so you have a studio somewhere else, like not at home?
Yeah. So like we have an apartment here in Toronto, and like it's dirt cheap, so we're probably never gonna move, rent controlled and all that. And then I found
That's sick.
And after my second kid was born, like my office area, because I work from home too, was it had to become his bedroom. Like he needed somewhere to sleep, so I needed to find somewhere else to do my shit. And I found a spot like 3 blocks away from me.
Oh, cool.
Also very cheap, and I can come in here whenever I want. Just do my thing. It's awesome.
It's kind of cool. You have a good space for that, man. That's right. It's kind of, when you have that feeling of like, oh, I'm going to work, and then you go to work, you're like, well, I'm here. I'm gonna have to do this now. You know what I mean? Like it's more focus and effort, I guess, put towards it.
Oh, totally. And the fact that it's 5 minutes walking at maximum to get over here makes it really easy to like say to myself, like, you have no excuse to not leave the house to go do this. Like it's so close.
Yeah.
Like if I had to travel 20 minutes to get here, there'd be so many more excuses of just, oh, I don't feel like going to them.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, having that space to get away from everything at home and just sit in dead silence or with some music on quietly and just draw. Like, I get lost in it. It's so easy. It's great.
Oh, that's awesome. That's the best. That's really what you want. Especially, like having time away from the kid and just like the noise and the distractions that could pop up any second,
Yeah.
That's more attention needed than, like when your phone goes off, like at least you can put do not disturb and stash it. But like your kid needs attention or something happens, you're like, oh, well, I got to be there. That's top priority no matter what.
100%. And like before this, I had a little portable drafting board, and I would sit at my kitchen table in my like little apartment and try to do art, and it was so distracting. I couldn't really get anything done. And I would definitely not be able to do something like this because I would be just bothering everybody at home while I'm talking, or I'd have kids jumping on stream or whatever.
Yeah. I feel that. What was I just gonna say? That's super great. I don't remember what I was gonna say. I had a whole thing after that. You just totally left my head.
I used to have a studio not in my house for a long time. I used to really like it, but then at a certain point, like I just, everybody's got to figure out what is going to make them work the best. And I found that like just being able to pop into my studio at home for like 5 minutes here and there, or whatever, just kind of escape while I'm at home, ended up me being more productive than if I'd go to the studio for X amount of hours and sit around for half the time not doing anything. Like being able to just pop in the studio here and there has really, really helped me.
I tend to side more with you too. I've always preferred a home studio. Like it would be great to have a studio, but money's the main problem, and
yeah.
And I notice a lot of people, my friends with studios, don't use them. They end up just not even going, and then they're just spending unnecessary rent. It's like a storage unit.
That's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, we have some stuff here in Winchester I've been trying to get into to be like, oh, well, maybe that'll like get me out there. But now that like I live with my girlfriend and I don't have a roommate, I'm like, I don't really need to go do that. But I think, it's really cool. You're in Canada. You have like the rent control, and there's some cool positive things that can help you financially. But that helps a lot. I'm sure having a kid too. Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, and one of the biggest things was just when COVID hit, a lot of the people just gave up their spots here, and it was so they dropped the prices dramatically just to get people back in the building.
Wow.
So
wow,
that's been a big help also. So like I have a dirt cheap apartment and a dirt cheap studio, and I cannot complain whatsoever.
Yeah, New York is not like that.
No, not from
New York sucks as far as prices.
I mean, Toronto's typically not like this either. I've just somehow gotten very lucky.
Nice.
And so, yeah, I try not to waste that. So, because I work from home, I'm here at least 8 hours a day, 5 days a week anyway, and then usually back.
That's awesome.
That's super cool. Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's not one of those things where I have it and don't use it.
No, I love that, dude. I always thought that'd be kind of cool to have. You know what I mean? Like it's your workspace. It's like I feel like it would just feel so official too. Like this is my job.
Yeah, I feel real fancy telling people I have a studio.
It's nice. It is really nice to have a studio.
K-pop junkie says, "Sup guys? K-pop, hello. Good to see you.
What up, K-pop?
We gotta connect with you to promote me and Jade's Kickstarter. That'd be super cool. Jade, we gotta hit up K-pop and have a convo with her.
For sure.
She's
super
awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. Maybe you could squeeze us in this month. Or in March, that'd be cool too. We have some stuff going on in March, K-pop for Apollo, so that'd be sick. Dude, Kickstarters are a whole thing, man. Like
full-time job.
They're for reals, dude. You're just posting and reposting and sharing, and then you're like, oh great, the algorithm isn't gonna work for me today, so that sucks. But we're still gonna try. Just do everything you can. I always like, the cool thing about Kickstarters though is that like we had a great first day and we're almost funded. Like we're like we need like $600 I think to hit our goal, and then you want to surpass that by 100%. But this one, gosh, I got so distracted with this. This has just been super fun and challenging because we're doing a bunch of live videos, and I realize every time you do a live, it's just like you get a backer, and if you get one backer a day, that's all that matters after day one, because you'll hit your goal, and then it'll have consistent movement every day that you could visibly see, and that's like does a lot better for your mental than on a single dead day could really bring you down sometimes.
You're doing just live on your own or going on other people's shows or both?
Both. Jade and I will do a live together, and we'll just talk and hang out and just just shoot the crap for a bit, for like an hour or so. And Jade and I can talk forever with each other. Like it's really really easy, so it's pretty chill.
Mostly more easy when I'm not drawing. I'm like, as we're
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, we talk a lot, and I'm like so quiet right now. But
Yeah, I enjoy doing
Interesting.
this, but I usually like to talk more as well.
I feel you,
to be
dude.
asking more
It's a
questions,
challenge.
but I can barely keep my focus right now.
I know I feel the most scrambled as a host on this show than others. And I mean, when you see me interview, or if you've been interviewed by me, it's very fluid. I feel like such a bad host on the show. It's so challenging.
That's
so
just what
funny.
the show is. It's cool. It's awesome, actually.
Yeah. And we get more people tuning in every week, and it's been really exciting because of that, because we're really growing in that way. So that means hopefully more people are drawn with us, and that's all we want. Is like my whole job at Comix Wellspring is how do I get people to make more comics? Like I just need to inspire people to make comics, because then guess what? They're gonna print their comics, and that's the end goal, you know. Like, but if I encourage you to make them, dude, that's so much fun.
More business.
Yeah, it's like a very like polite but conniving business scheme, I guess. You know what I mean? Like dastardly plan is to
help people enrich their lives. That's very dastardly of you.
I know, right? Yeah. How evil. I'm trying to get you guys to become artists.
You're helping me realize my dreams? Oh my god.
Yeah. You're encouraging me?
How selfish.
How dare you? And you'll promote me and uplift me? Yeah, straight up. That's what we do.
I printed my comic through Neon Spring through Comix Wellspring. I did the main cover not through Comix Wellspring, but I did all the variant covers, and I actually always forget that I think I can get 100 copies. I think I paid for 100 copies of my main cover that I never got. So I have to follow up on that email. I'm just sitting on, yeah, I'm sitting on it, I guess. I always forget I did that.
Never let that happen to you. Never let that happen to you. Just stick with us. We'll take care of you, Ian.
Yeah, it's just
and it's interesting, like going like I've printed stuff in different formats, or like done different things away from Comix Wellspring, and then it always just comes out like, oh well, if I'm looking for a book that like with the final version of the book, I always end up going through Comix Wellspring. Like I was doing Teenage Babylon just through like a quick printer, so it was more of a zine style, and that issue zero I have out, kind of like what you did, Ian. I do that 0 issue. That promotes it and keeps the longevity of it. It buys me time, But I just got it. I'm getting it printed through CWS for IC3, so there's gonna be some really nice copies of this book out there. I'm really excited. It's like 16 pages, but it's a fun little short story.
I love the name Teenage Babylon. That it's such a great name. The name alone gets me psyched. I don't know what it is, but I want it. So I really want it.
Thank you. That's super cool hearing that. I originally was calling it Teenage Wasteland like years ago, and then there was a comic that came out, so I was called Teenage Wasteland. And I was like, that sucks, and I was so pissed. But then I was like, I don't know how I decided on Babylon, but it just kind of worked. Neon Spring is a dope ass name, dude. Like, that's super cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I went through a lot of names before I got to that one. I changed the name 2 days before my Kickstarter went live.
Oh, really?
It was so stressful. I was doing so many things simultaneously and trying to come up with a new name for it. It was Neon Giant, and there's like a video game developer, and I just didn't want to like overlap with them at all.
Oh, I feel you. There's actually an Apollo City scooter. And there's a scooter company.
That's different enough. That's like
yeah.
I don't know if Nate wants me talking about this, but Nate from Night of the Chihuahuas is having a problem with the El Paso Chihuahuas.
Dude, I know.
Garbage. Total bullshit. Like he won't move that, but I'm afraid they can like waste his time and money, Like there's no legal basis for it. They're different industries, so.
So back home in El Paso, like I'm fucking from El Paso, which is insane. there's a baseball team, and they're like a minor league. What are the leagues in baseball? There's like major.
The majors and minors.
That's it. There's just majors and minors. There's not.
I'm
Yeah.
sure there are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like what are those like? And so it's they'll Paso Chihuahuas, and when you Google it, it's just like a Chihuahua wearing like a baseball outfit, like hitting a ball. You know what I mean? Like it's nothing.
It's better than the Savannah Bananas.
Well,
Savannah bananas.
I'm not joking.
Oh no,
That's
I don't know
hilarious.
about that one.
Oh, Savannah Bananas are like a totally different thing too, because they like do dances and all kinds of stuff, and their ball games aren't really, they're not, the Savannah Bananas aren't technically minor league because they don't actually play.
Oh, really? Wow. Are they like the Harlem Globetrotters?
They're more like that. Yeah, exactly.
Trying to.
But yeah, Nate's book and the whole thing. He actually he was supposed to do this whole project with them that didn't fall through, and they kind of like led him astray. And because they were going to do this project, that's how they heard of his book. And then they turned around and did this, so they kind of were like, "Oh, well, we could do this thing with you, and it would be amazing." And they're like, "You know what? No, we're just going to sue you instead."
It probably is good that we talk about it, because if that becomes a real thing, I think we should all band together and help him fight.
Oh, dude, I would
make
love
a
to
public
fight in my
thing, 'cause
hometown.
that is so stupid, man. That is, I'm so anti that in the first place. But I don't think they have.
And it's not like, yeah, it's not like Nate's book is one big enough, and that's like not to say anything bad about it, but like it's not like a thing that's going to distract in that sense. Like it's not a major motion picture, or like
even if it was though, it's just different. Like
yeah,
it's baseball and comics and entertainment. It's not. I don't see how they would win that one.
and totally different. Like you could visually see it's completely different. I have like covers and variants of Night of the Chihuahuas, and none of them remind me of the Apostle. I would have never like until Nate told me that they were talking. I was like, oh, dude, that's right, huh? That would have been cool to like put A and B together. Like no one's gonna think of that.
Yeah.
But that's the business, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's just headaches you have to go through. I'm always scared of that, dude. I hope I never have to go through like a
yeah.
Comics hard enough.
Yeah, avoid court and lawsuits at all costs. It's just what a nightmare.
Yeah. What a nightmare. I can't afford that. Time for that. Wouldn't know what to do really. Oh dang, they've had what time is it? 7:29. All right, cool. They're doing Warp Tour announcements right now. So every 2 hours they announce a new band.
Oh shit!
So I missed the one at 6 p.m., but they're having one at 8 p.m. too. Hyped.
Who got announced?
I don't want to look because if I open my phone, my AirPods are going to switch to my phone.
Oh, I get you.
It's the worst. Learned that the hard way at the live stream.
Oh my gosh! Don't destroy the setup. Do you solid? We'll figure it out. We'll do it live right here.
Dude, you're doing some like Zipatone right now on that? That's sick.
Yeah, Ian did the wash thing, so I was like, I'll do something different. I'll pull out some screens.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Great.
That's super cool. I'm like
Figured I
super
had
slow, so I'm gonna end up finishing this in like 2 days. But
Figured I had a little extra time. Yeah, I'm usually pretty slow too, but I think having the drawing ahead of time and just being able to be a little extra loose doing zombies, you know.
that looks sick, dude.
Yeah, I do gotta say, there's a little bit of pressure off with zombies. There's a little bit like,
Right? Be
I'm
messier.
not too afraid to mess it up. It's
The first eye I'm drawing is probably the one that's staying. Like, Yeah, sometimes when I'm inking though, I'm always still trying to figure out what I was doing in the drawing because I just did it. Like it hasn't like settled into my brain where I got to like envision it enough. So like you're like speed inking basically. So I try to get as much done in 2 hours. Max will do a whole piece in 2 hours, which I respect the hell out of because it's always pretty insane, but Max is insane like that. Dude, that's cool seeing that process like live.
Oh, like getting the screen tone on there, then burnishing it so it stays. Yeah, it's a finicky thing, but I don't know. I think I do it mostly just for like commissions and stuff. Otherwise, I'll do digital screen tone if I'm doing something for print.
Mhm.
Oh, nice.
But like if I'm prepping some original art to maybe sell to somebody, yeah, throw some screen tone on it. It gives it a little bit added depth. It makes it feel a little bit more one of a kind. You can feel it, like you can just rub your finger over it, feel the stuff on it. That's something else.
Love that.
And it's if you're doing drawings like at cons and you're sitting down and stuff, people will come over and watch you do this shit. They're like, "What is that?"
Yeah, that's true too. That's a good attention grabber. Do you guys like drawing at cons? How do you feel comfortable? How comfortable do you feel doing that? Or do you feel like it's distracting, or does it depend on the mood? Is it something you
I
do
don't
no
know. I
matter
think
what?
there are like artists that go to cons and do lots of drawing and stuff like that, and that's like why they're there, and that's why people want to go see them at conventions. It's but I don't know. I end up spending so much more time talking to people that I like never end up really having time to draw.
I prefer talking to people. I'm not really going to the con to draw. I could. I've become
same.
like comfortable drawing publicly, but like I'd much rather connect, sell, network, meet people, and than be the guy with the head down. No shame for the people who do it, but like that's just me. I'd rather do that.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I feel about that too.
I mostly hate drawing at cons. I'll do it every now and then, but yeah, I don't know. It's not. There's never like a comfortable setup. Maybe I need to bring a drawing board with me or something. My drawing table sits at a pretty high angle. I like to keep it that way. I don't want to be messing up my back.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I just get nervous in front of people. Like this is different on a stream. I have no problem doing it because I'm still just by myself in my studio. But in person, it's a little bit different. Like the guys that can get up and do those sketch competitions. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
More power to them. That is not me. That will not be me. I'm very happy just being here and doing my thing.
Yeah, it takes me a minute to like envision stuff. So I'm not like, I guess drawing like live is way different in that sense.
The only thing I'll do is if someone buys my art book, I'll put like 10 to 20 minutes into a drawing there on the spot.
Oh, yeah.
That's different. It's random. It's quick. And like,
yeah,
I have no idea what I'm doing when I start. And like somewhere halfway through, I'm like, oh, this is what I'm drawing now. And that's what you get. But like, yeah, to have to like actually discipline to do a character on the spot. I love the idea of the pre-show commission. It's just brilliant. It's like, of course, let's line it up ahead of time and come hang with me and we can talk,
Yeah.
It's such a solitary life being an artist. So when we get to get out and hang out with people, it's kind of awesome. I don't want to just be doing what I do when I'm alone when I'm in public.
Yeah, like I know a lot of guys will go to the conventions and stuff like that. They'll get commissions and then they spend their nights in the hotel room drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very depressing to me. I'm sorry. I love drawing. I love art, but you traveled for it. There's all these amazing people around, and yeah, it's kind of sad.
Exactly.
And sometimes the best part of cons is going out with other artists and getting
Yep.
shoot the shit afterwards.
Dude,
I think it
that's
is.
where
I
things
think it
happen
is the best
for your
part.
network.
Yeah.
It's like vital. Like you need to go out. Like, and I don't drink. Like you don't have to party and like do all that. You know what I mean? Like I just go out and hang out with everybody, and it's always a good time. And just hang out, have some conversations. You never know, but it's always going to be worth it. Like you'll make some friends at bare minimum. You'll make new friends, and like how cool, you know? Hey, Nate
Yeah.
Price, dude, we were just talking about Nate Price.
Nate, we were just talking
That's
about
so
you,
funny.
man. Shout out.
Yeah.
IC3
get
was
off the
life
computer.
changing for me last year. I, you know, not only did I get to meet everybody, but like for the first time, I got a lot of work out of it. Just and it was all in the
Dude, when did
hotel
we
lobby.
meet?
Hmm?
When did we meet?
You and me?
Yes, I don't remember.
Literally,
don't remember
when I
if we
walked
said
in, you were with Matt at the entrance to that like round hallway, and that was when I first met you.
Oh my gosh. Okay, then I think
It was really
like,
quick.
it was
I wasn't
brief.
even like
It was brief.
I wasn't even signed up to be a part of it. Eli invited me. I was in the Cosmic Lion Island last year, unofficially. I wasn't even like on the roster. So
Oh, so yeah, we
that's
definitely
how-
like saw each other for sure.
yeah. But
Okay,
yeah, we connected
okay,
later. We connected after IC3.
Yeah, like on Instagram and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Things go. That's another funny thing about the con. Like speaking about Nate, like this happens all the time. Nate and I was in Phoenix, Arizona when I met Nate, and we were tabling across from each other all day, just staring at each other, and we didn't say a single word until the end of the day. We gave each other comics and said goodbye, and that was it. And then we became friends after.
That's hilarious. Yeah, that's the way it goes sometimes too. Yeah, that's wild. That's insane. It's so funny. I was just like, I wonder. I was like thinking like you're really Hispanic, and I thought you were like gonna sound like. I was like, man, he's gonna remind me of back home. And then like I heard your voice, and I was like, oh, he just sounds like a white dude. Okay, this makes sense. He has a deep voice. But I thought like your voice was way more like Hispanic sounding for some reason.
Are you talking about me because my name is Cinco?
Yeah.
Hey, man. I could. I'm not gonna put on a Hispanic accent right now. It's Italian. My name is Italian.
It's Italian.
And my uncle went to Italy and did all the research to make us all Italian citizens. So I'm an Italian citizen.
Oh, that's great, dude.
Yeah,
nice. That's great. Hold on to that, dude. Keep that. It's gonna come in handy soon.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah. No, yeah. You look like you just look back home. You know, my people.
I've been trying to learn. Like, I've been trying to learn Spanish. I married a Colombian woman, and like that relationship didn't work out. And now I'm like still trying to learn Spanish though. I'm not trying to abandon my. I've been trying to learn it forever, really.
I'm so bad at it.
It's just hard because
it never stuck with me.
I find that like I really am annoying. I annoy people when I try to speak in Spanish, just because it's like they speak English. And if I speak in Spanish, it just slows everything down, and people don't really want to do that. They just want to get the transaction. Especially when it like comes to money, it's like let's make this transaction happen and just move on already. Like,
you're like, give me a trente, uno, dos, tres. Like,
yeah,
trying to figure stuff out, dude. Yeah, I did Spanish like never just stuck in my brain. I get it. I totally get it. I can understand it, but I just like I can't roll my R's. Like. My white side really just kicks in. Like my German side kicks in hardcore, and I can't roll my R's for. I sound like Machine Gun. You know what I mean? Like I can't just do it.
Yeah. That's the thing. When you're trying to learn, people teaching you, they'll laugh. They're like, "That's way too much." You're either like,
and you're just like, "I'm so sorry,"
or you're like, "Yeah, Machine Gun is hilarious." So funny, man. I found that I was having success by writing down, by paying close attention to what I actually say every day, like una frase al día, one phrase a day. Like just focus on one thing that you actually say every day, and that's where I started having some real actual like luck with it, or progress, I should say.
That makes a lot of sense. I got to teach over in Italy for a couple of months, like 6 years ago, and like by no means did I ever get conversational or anything like that. beyond being able to order a beer and food and stuff like that. But on the plane ride home, I remember, like one of the flight attendants like coming past me, and they're handing out food for the flight, and I said like, oh, grazie, and I was like, oh shoot, like I think this is an English speaking like airline, and it took me a minute to like recalibrate, and now that it's been so long, it's gone. All of it's gone.
Yes.
What were you teaching in Italy?
Yeah, I teaching art. My
Nice.
day job, I'm a college art professor.
Oh, cool. Any particular art, like drawing, painting, all of it?
Kind of all of it. I'm the foundations coordinator, so that means I run the first year program. So like students who come into the School of Art, they go through their first year kind of program, and I run that. So
awesome, man.
Yeah, get to do a little bit of everything. Hence the giant, if you can see it in the background, the giant cardboard head.
Yeah,
that's in my studio.
What's that?
It's a project that one of the students made. They do a project where they have to make a caricature of themselves, but in cardboard, and they have to be able to wear it. And I'm saving a couple of them to do a show with their art. And so my office, that's where I'm at right now on campus, and it's just full of these giant bobbleheads of
Nice.
students.
That's fun, man.
Yeah.
See, I like this brush end. I love this red pen for the fine liner, but like this, I always try to use the brush and it just doesn't come out black enough for me. And I want to like it. I can use it in some instances, but it takes me a while to find the instance.
Yeah, I find that pen to be unsatisfying to draw with. I usually
the fine liner.
I will rarely use it to draw.
Yeah, I just fucking love the fine liner. I guess I've been looking for a good fine liner in general, though. So it's just the best one I have right now, I think. Okay. Do you guys have any other shows you're attending this year?
I applied for the EDP Comic Con again. I went last year and I applied for this year. Haven't heard back yet.
Nice.
But I hope timing and everything works out. It was amazing. It was like IC3. It was different than all other cons, It was like a lot of people
How much
who knew
is
each
the
other
table?
were like meeting for the first time. I think it was 75. It was really cheap, or 100 max.
Wow. Shit. Dude,
and same thing, I think, again this year. But obviously, it was more emotional. That was like a super emotional experience. There was a lot of crying.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah, dude,
cathartic.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, Apollo started as a podcast because I saw Cartoonist Kayfabe, and I was like, oh, that's what I'm gonna do, but like in my own way. And so, dude, and then I started trying to make comics because of them. Like, yeah,
dude, I think we all, so many people share that story, whether it's like that exact one or just the fact that we were all listening to that channel during the pandemic.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, so much.
Super uniting thing.
Drive my ex crazy, dude. But yeah, it was such a good. Oh yeah, totally. And then Jim's a great dude.
Yeah, he was
kind of buddies
there
with Tom Scully now. He's so great.
Yeah, they were both there selling their wares. It was weird. Everyone had a massive line all day, and Tom Scioli right next to him did not. And I was like, "What the fuck, man?"
Oh, what? That's insane.
I mean, not
Tom's
that,
so great.
He was getting love. Everybody was giving love, but it was just funny that like Rugg commanded the line all day.
That's interesting. I feel like Tom has such a larger. What's the word I'm looking for? Where you have a lot of books.
Oh yeah, he has a lot. He does.
Catalog. There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Or if we wanted to get really fancy and get art terminology, ouvroir.
think I'm just gonna black all this out, to be honest.
I got accepted to Montreal Comic Arts Festival again. So I might
Nice.
do that one. That's in May. It's a 3-day street festival in downtown Montreal.
Cool.
Wow, that's cool.
Highly recommended. There's lots of good like bande dessinée and then just you know, Anglo creators as well. And it was a lot of fun. I did pretty well last year, even though like my book didn't ship in time. So I went there down without my new book.
Oh, no.
It was supposed to arrive the day before I left, and it just didn't show. And
That sucks.
Literally a recurring stress stream of mine in prepping for cons.
yeah, and I promised myself after that I'm never gonna like rush a book again. And here I am getting ready for IC3, going, yeah, I can get this. I can get this done in time. It's gonna happen.
Best laid plan.
So, yeah, but it's a great show, and yeah, if you guys ever get up to Canada, Montreal is an awesome city, and super fun show. Yeah. And then I'm applied at TCAF, Toronto Comic Arts Festival, so I'm hoping to do that one this year too, which is like the weekend after MCAF or like 2 weeks after. I don't know. If I get them both, my wife's gonna hate. I'm just gonna go on for 2 weekends in a row and she'll be stuck with kids.
Yeah, I don't know what cons I'm kind of doing this year. I might do Rose City again. I'm kind of waiting I got to kind of figure out finances and stuff like that this year. It's being in Montana, everything is so far away that I got to be strategic. I can't do everything. So I gotta pick which ones are gonna make the most sense. But we'll see. Yeah, I think it'd be great to do Rose City again. I'd really love. There's this convention in Denver called DCAF, and it's really great artists are part of it.
Oh, that's good to know. I need a good excuse to visit Denver.
Well,
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. DCAF. Last year was like early mid-May, something like that, right in there.
Oh, nice.
I have no idea whether or not that's when they would do it again, but it was totally worthwhile. It was a great one.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm just doing IC3, and then what's it? The Brooklyn Independent
Pix
show. Yeah, in April.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm bummed.
Yeah,
I scheduled a family trip. All my cousins are going out. We're going out to Tennessee, so I'm missing it this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least I can see you at IC3 though.
Yeah. That's a good one, and it's always been outside. Or the first 2 years it was outside, and they had weather problems.
Oh yeah.
So now it's inside.
I heard about it last year.
It's a really cool location.
That's sick. I'm hyped. I'm super excited. I haven't really done an independent show as Apollo where I've traveled before. I'm able to like, get, kind of mix Apollo into like CWS stuff, but like this is like my first like big outing on like, I'm just gonna go do a con and just do this on my own and be Apollo. Soon me and my girlfriend are gonna table, so pretty hyped.
That's awesome.
She's gonna run the table.
Your girlfriend's into it, man.
IC3.
That's excellent. That's so cool.
Yeah, she's getting into all this stuff now, which is super cool. She's in the trailer for our horror anthology, actually. Like, if you guys check out our Kickstarter, the link below, I'm gonna promote that a little bit.
I'll be back in it after this for sure.
I
didn't even know you had
Thank you.
Yeah, she's in the trailer. It's so funny, dude. We filmed that trailer at Baltimore Comic Con. Both of them. There's a trailer in the beginning and a little one at the end. You can see it on social media too, but go check out the page. It's way more convincing. And it's just so funny. But yeah, she's working on the series Corpse Flower, and that's the one I was helping her start to draw. Max Flowers is going to draw, my co-host. He's going to draw the actual book. But I did that mini comic for IC3, and that was just super cool. And we have some other little projects that we're trying to kind of do together, which is pretty sweet. It's pretty dope.
That is super cool.
Since I do Apollo City Comics as a podcast too, we're gonna do a live show because we always watch concerts like on Sunday mornings while we have our coffee. So we're gonna live stream it, and we're gonna call it Slit Your Wrist Sundays. And and watch like some emo bands in the morning and just talk about it. So pretty hyped about that.
Fun.
Cool stuff. But yeah, dude. Oh, that man, Dave, killer. That's awesome. Let me do some showcases real fast here. But yeah, we're kind of wrapping up too a little. We got about like 15 more minutes. Let me
Nice.
maximize this. Dang, dude,
Yeah.
that came out awesome.
Angle mine towards you as well, because I'm just about there. Yeah, that looks great.
That's
super
awesome,
dope, Dave. Did you put Zipatone on the pants too?
Yeah, a different one. It's more of a textured.
Oh,
one, so
nice.
kind of break it up and then
Oh, wow.
get a little bit in the eye sockets there. I'll get a good scan of it before I leave tonight, and I'll post it.
Yeah, dude, that's sick, dude. That's super cool. Let me post up Ian's right over here. Man,
Nice.
dude, that is great. That is amazing. I'm digging that.
They definitely have that Return of the Living Dead feel to them.
Yeah, I wanted to go like a fun cartoony look and not like I think it might have been you saying just like pick a person and make them look like their skin is coming off in a realistic way.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
It's
I
super
felt like I
sick.
was going so fast, and then I look and you've done 2. Out of here.
Dude, that's Max too, man. Like Max just you guys like you just like slay it. I mean, I'm like barely like halfway done with mine. I love it, dude. I love it. Look at Jade's. Jade's is that's sick.
Oh, that's sick, man.
Thank you. There's me just getting munched on. I was gonna add another one kind of over here, but I didn't really like the angle of it, so I'm gonna probably just crop the whole thing.
I think it's so funny how
are
this
you-
incredibly unpleasant subject matter is so enjoyable at the same time.
Yeah, for real. What sizes are you guys all doing your stuff on? Like, what was yours, Dave?
I'm just on a 9x12 piece of Bristol.
9x12. Okay,
Yeah.
Bristol. What about you?
Yeah, same
Ian?
here. 9x12.
Nice. Okay, cool.
11 by 17.
Okay, sick. Nice. Is that spilled ink paper that you got, or is that a different? Have we sent that to you
You
yet?
haven't sent it to me yet, man.
Oh, I thought Dan sent some to you too. Well, I'm using that spilled ink paper. Which is let me move my
You have
camera
your-
back a little
You
bit.
have your own proprietary paper, like.
Yeah, we actually we sell blue ink paper now at CWS, so you could buy your original paper. Yeah, we just put it up. It's 24 for pack of 24 for $24.99. It's pretty $25, so pretty sweet. There's a link in the bio you guys can check out too for that.
Nice. Is it,
We
like,
should be
smooth
giving
Bristol?
samples. Yeah, dude. Well, we're gonna give you guys samples at IC3, so you can check it out. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, we should be giving I think we're trying to give everyone 5 pages or something. So, and then we're gonna be doing all the storytelling. Jade, so nice. We're gonna be doing the sketch cards for IC3 as well, out of the same paper. So you guys can check
Nice.
out all of that at IC3. Get some samples and everything. But yeah, it's pretty cost efficient versus other brands right now. So we're trying to help creators out with that too. I know prices are getting higher for some other brands, so we wanted to see how we could help out and supply some of that. We're also going to be doing, I think, sketchbooks later next year too, or this
That'd
year.
be cool.
Yeah, a lot more supplies for people. But dude, this has been a great night. Does anyone want to throw some plugs real fast before we sign off?
I want to say that I want to have everybody here on my show someday when I'm not drawing, and I can have more dialogue with you.
Yeah, dude, I love that so much.
Yeah, I'm down.
Ian, where can we find Neon Spring? Where can people check that out?
Easiest way is always iancinco.com, but I feel like I'm very available on social medias. You can DM me, find my website through there, or just DM me. But yeah, iancinco.com, you can get it all there.
Nice.
Obviously, IC3. If you're going up to Connecticut, I'll be there.
Love it. Dave, where can we find your work?
I'm on Instagram at Red Eye Draws, and you can buy my books and original art at redeyedraws.com.
Sick.
Dave, I wanted
Jade,
to just shout you out. The fact that you were a colorist and you've transitioned to being an artist is awesome, man. Your art's sick.
Oh, thanks, man. I started as an artist a while ago. I gave up comics like a long time ago, and then got dragged back into it to do colors.
Yeah.
And
Oh wow, that's cool.
And then caught the bug again. Just started drawing my ass off.
Hell yeah.
But thanks.
Awesome.
Jade, what do you got going on?
Yeah. So you can back the Kickstarter that Brendan and I have been kind of talking about for the It's a Horror Show, the found footage anthology. Easiest way to find that is just pop over to my Instagram. It's just at Jade Lowder. And you'll be able to find the link off of that. Probably also on the Apollo City Comics site as well. Or just Kickstarter, It's a Horror Show, the found footage anthology. That's the latest and greatest. Keeping up with all the other stuff. Instagram, my website, jadelowder.com, all that kind of stuff. Good ways to figure out what I got going on.
Cool.
Love it. And yeah, check out our blue line paper in the link below. We just updated our bulk discount pricing. So actually now we have bigger bulk discount pricing than ever when you order your books. You start off getting 15% off, which is pretty insane and awesome. And then it just goes up from there, which is even more insane and awesome. So check that out. And you know what? People always forget about the rewards when they order books. So like if you've been placing orders and you haven't looked at your rewards, you probably have like 15, 20, 30, 50 bucks waiting for you to utilize. So check that out. And I'm so excited for IC3. There's gonna be so much going on there. So, thank you guys so much. We can't wait for the show. It's gonna be a great time. I can't wait to show everyone all the comics Apollo City Comics has been making. We have like new anthologies, we have new books, we have new posters, and I think we're selling hats now. I just found out like in a chat right before this started. So you can order an Apollo City Comics hat. How rad. So yeah, we're getting there. Merchandising. But check out Apollo City Comics at apollocitycomics.com. And all things CWS, hit me up. Thank you, gentlemen, for tonight. It's been a blast.
Brendan, can I put a thing in the spoke real quick and hold up the show before we say goodnight?
Oh, of course, yes.
I'm looking at your Kickstarter. And while I have you here, I just want to ask the $50 Apollo anthology bundle. I'll get the new book that you have, the horror anthology, along with digital, along with Apollo stuff. Cool.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the one to get for everybody.
Digital copies help us out so much. I don't know if people realize like how much that benefits a Kickstarter. People feel like if they're not getting physicals, they're not making a difference. But to be honest, digitals make a huge difference when you're thinking of like business of a Kickstarter and how funds are utilized, So yeah, dude, I'll throw in some extra goodies for you too.
Yeah, I feel like you got to meet people where they are too. You want to make yourself available. So
yeah,
if not everybody's going to buy physical comics, then why not?
Totally.
It's hard to keep track of, to be honest. I mean, dude, I need to get rid of comics. I have like 40 boxes of comics. It's insane. And they're overflowing and I have stacks everywhere and it's just going to get bigger. So, yeah, physical stuff gets tough, especially when you're living in like New York, dude. So I'll definitely make it worth it for you.
Yeah, and speaking as a Canadian, getting stuff shipped up here.
Oh, insane.
Right. Yeah, totally.
Oftentimes
insane.
It's close to matching the price of the product, sometimes even more.
Oh, yeah.
So digital's the way to go. I mean, it's part of the reason I've held off buying a lot of people's books until I get south of the border and I can come to something like IC3 and just grab armfuls of everybody's stuff.
Makes sense. That totally makes sense. Yeah. Dude, yeah, we'll connect when you're down here. We'll definitely show you some good stuff. We have like a music anthology that we'll have new, and we have a reprint of the punk anthology, This Comic Kills Fascists, and so many other things that we're doing right now. So we have the broadcast dialogues. I keep forgetting to promote this book. It's like my new sci-fi series. It's so sick. So I can show you guys that too. great stuff. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. I think that's it.
Awesome.
All right.
Yeah,
Awesome.
thank
Love
you,
it.
Brandon. Thank you, everybody. Good to meet you guys too.
Yeah.
You
Same
too.
guys.
Yeah,
Ian,
thanks,
Dave,
guys.
pleasure.